Broken heart, my wife said she needed a 2-week break to test our marriage. By day 3, she posted with another man. She thought I'd beg. Instead, I gave her a lesson in betrayal and karma she'll never forget. My name is Ethan Cole, I'm 33, and 5 months ago I thought I had the kind of marriage people post on Instagram about. Beautiful wife, cozy house in the suburbs, barbecues with neighbors in the summer. Now, I'm sitting alone in that same house, the silence broken only by the hum of my fridge and the memory of her voice saying, "I think we should take a break, just 2 weeks, to see if we miss each other. 2 weeks to test our marriage." That's what she called it. Her name is Maya, 31. We've been married 4 years, together for 6. I'm a project manager for a big construction firm in Texas, pulling about $105,000 a year. I like my job, it's stressful sometimes, but it's honest work, and it paid for a 3-bedroom ranch house with a big oak in the yard. Maya works as a social media coordinator for a fashion boutique downtown. She makes about half my salary, but she's the outgoing one, the one who can light up any room. People love her. I loved her. Or at least, I thought I did until I started realizing she loved attention more than she ever loved me. The first couple of years were normal. Lazy Sunday mornings, arguing over what to watch on Netflix. She'd beg for weekend trips to Austin, and I'd tell her I wanted to save for home renovations. We had the usual disagreements, nothing major. Then about 8 months ago, her college best friend Tessa came back to town. Tessa is 29 and freshly divorced. No kids, drives a shiny white Mercedes, and lives in one of those luxury downtown lofts with floor-to-ceiling windows. Her entire personality could be summed up as #HotGirlHealing. Brunch photos, gym selfies, endless videos about not settling for mediocrity. The first time I met her, I knew she was trouble. Tessa shook my hand, looked me up and down, and said with a smirk, "So you're the husband. Interesting." Interesting? She started coming over all the time, usually unannounced. Always dressed like she was heading to a nightclub, even at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. She'd lounge on her couch, scrolling her phone, tossing out little grenades of relationship wisdom that I knew were going to poison Maya's brain. Marriage shouldn't feel like a routine. You have to keep the spark alive or find someone who will. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, you know? I brushed it off at first. I was busy anyway. My company had landed a huge commercial project, a 14-story office building, and I was practically living on site. 60-hour weeks, some Saturdays too. I was doing it for us, for our future. But according to Tessa, that was proof I didn't care about my wife. The fights started small. Why didn't I plan surprise date nights anymore? Why didn't I react when guys complimented her Instagram photos? Why wasn't I jealous enough? I'm not a jealous guy. I trusted her. At least I did. Then came the night that still replays in my head. I came home late, 11 p.m., after a 14-hour day wrangling subcontractors and city inspectors. Maya was sitting at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a half-empty glass of rose, looking like she'd been rehearsing a script all day. "Ethan, I think we should take a 2-week separation, just to clear our heads, to see if we miss each other." I stared at her. I thought I misheard. "A separation? Are you saying you want to divorce me?" No, she rushed. "Not divorce. Just a break. Tessa says it's healthy to reset a relationship. It'll make us stronger." And there it was, Tessa's voice coming out of my wife's mouth. I wanted to laugh, but something inside me just went cold. I could see the trap. This wasn't about healing or testing our love. This was about drama. Making me panic. Making me beg. Making me dance for her attention. Instead, I nodded slowly. "If that's what you want, Maya, okay." Her face dropped. She wasn't expecting that. She wanted me to fight, to grovel, to promise the moon. I didn't. That night, I texted my best friend Ryan, my voice of reason since college. He's a mechanic, blunt as a hammer, and allergic to drama. "Maya wants a 2-week separation," I typed. His reply came fast. "Let me guess, Tessa's idea?" I told him yes. "Then buckle up, bro. This ain't a break. This is the soft launch of a disaster. The next morning, I helped Maya pack 2 suitcases into her silver SUV. Work clothes, yoga sets, the heels she never wore for me anymore. She hugged me like she was leaving for summer camp, not walking out on our marriage. By noon, the house was quiet. Too quiet. I sat on the couch, looking around at the place I built with my own hands. Hardwood floors I refinished, walls I painted, the backyard deck I sweated over last summer. For the first time in months, I felt free. No passive-aggressive comments about my boring hobbies. No lectures about toxic masculinity because I watched the Cowboys game. No scented candles I wasn't allowed to light. That first night, I ordered a large pepperoni pizza, cracked open a cold Coke, and watched Die Hard without a single comment about how these movies glorify violence. And somewhere between bites, a strange thought crept in. Maybe this break wasn't the punishment she thought it was. By day 3, the illusion that this break was harmless shattered. I had just gotten home from work, still smelling like dust and steel, when Ryan texted me a link with 3 words. Check. Her. Instagram. I opened the app and my stomach dropped. There she was, Maya, my wife, perched on a bar stool at some trendy rooftop lounge downtown. Tight black dress, hair curled, champagne glass in hand. And next to her, a man I'd never seen before, arm around her waist. The caption read, "Sometimes you just need to breathe and live again sparkles #self-care #new vibes." The photo had 47 likes and 3 comments already. One from Tessa, "Yes, Queen Crown." Another from some random guy, "Lucky man smiling face with hard eyes." I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just stared at my phone until my vision blurred. That was the moment I knew the break wasn't about space. It wasn't about missing each other. It was about testing how far she could go without technically calling it cheating. Ryan called immediately. "Bro, I hate to say I told you so, but I saw it, I cut him off. She posted that like she's single. And that dude? You better believe that's not her cousin." I didn't reply. My chest felt tight, but not from heartbreak anymore. Something colder, sharper. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't text her. I didn't even like the post. I opened my laptop and started documenting everything. Screenshotted the Instagram post. Checked our joint credit card account online. Checked the location history of the SUV I bought for her on the insurance app. And guess what? 2 charges at the Monarch, a rooftop bar she'd never been to with me, both within the last 48 hours. A $142 dinner charge at a restaurant I'd never heard of. And her car? Parked overnight at an upscale apartment complex downtown. I didn't need to guess whose apartment that was. By day 4, she finally texted me. "Hope you're thinking about us, Red Heart." I showed Ryan. He laughed so hard he nearly choked on his Dr. Pepper. "Bro, she's out there posting soft launch boyfriend pics and asking if you're thinking about her? This is delusion on expert mode." I didn't reply. Instead, I spent the next evening going through every shared account. Bank statements, credit cards, her iPad, which was still synced to our iCloud from when I set it up for her last year. And that's when I found the messages. At first, it was harmless enough. Her new friend was named Brandon, a 35-year-old marketing guy from Dallas. The text started with work gossip and casual banter. By the second week, it had turned personal. Complaints about me, how she felt stifled, how she missed feeling desired. Then came the photos I wish I could unsee. Her in a new dress I'd never seen. Him shirtless, flexing in some gym bathroom. The most recent messages? "Can't wait for tonight, Red Heart, the view is better with you here." Followed by a hotel reservation confirmation at a boutique hotel downtown. I took screenshots of everything, saved them to my private cloud, printed hard copies for my safe. Then I called a lawyer. His name was Marcus Blake, a family law attorney Ryan recommended. He listened without judgment as I laid it all out. The trial separation, the Instagram post, the texts, the hotel receipt. "Ethan," he said calmly, "Texas law is clear. This is adultery. If you play your cards right, you'll keep the house, the majority of joint assets, and avoid paying a single cent of spousal support." "How soon can we start?" I asked. As soon as you want to stop playing the fool. Meanwhile, Tessa was doing her best Academy Award performance as supportive best friend. On day 5, she texted me directly for the first time ever. Hey, I know this break must be hard. Just wanted to check in red heart. I didn't respond. 2 hours later, another ping. If you ever want to talk or just grab coffee, I'm here. Ryan nearly spit out his beer when I showed him. She's not even waiting for the body to get cold, man. That's a homewrecker in a designer dress. I played dumb. Thanks, Tessa. Maybe coffee sometime. If there's one thing I learned from watching my buddy's divorce last year, it's this. Document everything, react to nothing. By day 7, I had a clear picture. My wife was cheating during our break. Her best friend was waiting in the wings. And both of them thought I was too dumb, too weak, or too emotional to notice. They had no idea I was already 5 steps ahead. Because if Maya wanted to turn our marriage into a game, I was about to end it before she could even blink. By day 8 of our so-called separation, my house didn't feel like a home. It felt like a war room. On the kitchen table, printouts of Instagram posts, screenshots of texts and hotel receipts, notes from my first meeting with Marcus Blake, my lawyer. Every night, I sat there with a cold Coke, cataloging my wife's betrayal like a detective building a case file. And then, the inevitable happened. Tessa invited me for coffee. Hey, Ethan. I feel like we should talk. About everything. She chose a fancy coffee shop near her downtown loft, the kind of place where a latte costs more than a burger at Five Guys. When I walked in, I saw her immediately. Tight green dress, full makeup, like she was auditioning for a reality show called The Real Homewreckers of Dallas. Ethan, she said, jumping up with that smile that had a little too much teeth. I'm so glad you came. I sat across from her, calm. I'd promised myself, let her talk. Let her reveal herself. She leaned forward, her perfume so strong it could stun a horse. I just want you to know, I'm here for you. I hate what Maya's doing. You deserve someone who actually sees your worth. She reached across the table, placing her manicured hand over mine. If I were married to a man like you, I'd never risk losing him. Inside, I felt disgust. On the outside, I stayed quiet, vulnerable, the perfect mark. It's been rough, I said softly. I don't even know what's real anymore. Her eyes lit up. Predators can smell blood. I can be real for you. Someone who actually cares. Someone who won't take you for granted. She squeezed my hand, her long nails digging lightly into my skin. I let the moment hang for just a second before pulling back casually, like I was shy. We talked for an hour. Or rather, she talked. About how she always knew Maya didn't deserve me. About how she'd warned her that neglecting a man like me was a mistake. About how maybe everything happens for a reason. By the time we said goodbye, she hugged me just a little too long. Her lips brushed my cheek. When I got home, I called Ryan immediately. Dude, I said, Tessa basically offered herself on a silver platter. Of course she did, he said, snorting. She's been circling your marriage like a vulture for months. The friend role was just her cover story. She said if she were married to a guy like me, she'd never let me go. Ryan laughed so hard he nearly dropped the phone. That's some Hallmark Channel villain energy right there. Over the next few days, Tessa ramped up the contact. Morning texts, thinking of you today, red heart. Selfies at the gym in yoga pants. Poolside photos captioned, wish someone was here to enjoy the sun with me. Ryan and I started treating it like a reality show. Bro, she's escalating. Gym pic? That's level 3 of the steal your friend's husband playbook, he joked. I responded just enough to keep her talking, but I never crossed the line. Every message went into my evidence folder. Then came the bombshell. Friday night, she texted. There's something I need to tell you, but I don't know if I should. You can tell me, I replied, playing the part. Not over text. Can we meet? It's important. We met at the same coffee shop. She showed up in a red dress this time, like we were on an actual date. I feel terrible about this, she said, twirling her straw like she was in a teen drama. But Maya's been seeing someone. His name is Brandon. They've been together for weeks. I widened my eyes. What? I've seen them. Dinner. drinks, even the hotel. She hesitated, biting her lip for dramatic effect. I just didn't want you to be blindsided. There it was, the full playbook. Step 1, encourage the affair. Step 2, expose it to be the hero. Step 3, slide into my life as the upgrade. I pretended to be crushed. I can't believe this. She reached for my hand again. You don't deserve this. But maybe this is the universe showing you who really cares about you. That night, I went home and opened Maya's iPad. Sure enough, her messages with Brandon told the entire story. 3 weeks of flirty texts escalating to explicit photos. Plans for their night at the hotel downtown. Messages she sent to me about thinking about us while literally in bed with him. I took screenshots of everything. Credit card charges, GPS locations, hotel receipts. Then I called Marcus, my lawyer. We're done here. File the papers. I want this airtight. For the next few days, I played my role perfectly. To Tessa, wounded, vulnerable, slowly warming up to her support. To Maya, cold and silent. To Marcus, methodical and patient. Every move I made was calculated, because if Maya wanted a game, I was going to end it in a way she'd never forget. The following Monday morning, I sat in Marcus Blake's office, watching him flip through the folder of evidence I'd compiled. He was calm, professional, like he'd seen this same story play out 1,000 times. This is airtight, he said finally, tapping the hotel receipt with his pen. Texts, photos, credit card records. She can't spin this. Texas law is very clear on adultery. What happens now? I asked. You keep the house. You'll likely walk away with 65% of joint assets. No spousal support. She forfeited that the minute she decided to have her little adventure. I nodded. My heart should have been racing, but instead I felt calm. Like a soldier before a battle, he already knows he'll win. Let's serve the papers, I said. 3 days later, a professional process server walked into Maya's office with a manila envelope. Within an hour, my phone lit up. What the hell is this, Ethan? She demanded. Her voice shook with rage. Divorce papers, I said evenly, with evidence of adultery attached. This was supposed to be a temporary break. We were gonna work things out. You worked it out with Brandon instead. Hope the Omni Hotel was worth $300 and a lifetime of regret. There was a pause, then her voice wavered. How? How did you? Your iPad syncs to iCloud, Maya. Every text, every photo, every little plan you made with him while pretending we were just taking space. She tried every angle. Denial. It was just texting Ethan. Minimizing. The break gave me permission. It didn't mean anything. Blame. You were never there for me. You made me feel lonely. I stayed calm. Cold. You didn't just end our marriage. You tried to turn me into a fool while doing it. And then, the mask slipped. You know what? I'm glad I did it. Brandon actually treats me like a woman. He takes me places, buys me things. Not like you, coming home dirty from your little construction job. There it was. For years of marriage, and my wife finally said what she really thought of me. The job that paid for our home, her car, her vacations, and even the credit card she used to cheat, was just grunt work to her. Funny, I said. That grunt job paid for your hotel hookup. Hope he appreciates you when he's the one swiping his card for it. She hung up. Meanwhile, Tessa was playing her role like she deserved an Emmy. How are you holding up, Ethan? She texted that night. I'm so proud of how strong you're being. Ryan laughed when he read it. She's not even subtle anymore. She probably has a Pinterest board titled, How to Steal a Husband. I played along. Thanks, Tessa. It's been rough. Maybe we should meet for coffee again. For the next month, I lived a double life. To Maya, cold, distant, methodical through the divorce proceedings. To Tessa, a wounded husband slowly opening up. To Ryan and Marcus, a man quietly stacking dominoes for the perfect finale. Maya's behavior during the divorce only helped my case. She tried. Claiming half the house, Marcus shut that down instantly. It was premarital property. Demanding spousal support, denied due to adultery. Throwing screaming fits in her lawyer's office. One day, Marcus called me laughing. Your wife just got herself temporarily banned from her own lawyer's building. She threw a stapler. Ryan and I toasted to that with a six-pack. By the time the final settlement was ready, I had everything I wanted. House, mine, $100,000 equity intact. 65% of joint savings, around $32,000. Retirement accounts, untouched. Spousal support, zero. Maya walked away with her 7-year-old Honda Civic, a few thousand in cash, her student loan debt, and a reputation now whispered about at her job. But my plan wasn't complete. I wanted closure. So I sent Tessa a text. You've been so supportive through this. Let's celebrate tonight. My treat, Meridian. Meridian is one of those overpriced downtown restaurants where an appetizer costs $30 and the waiters treat you like you're interrupting their modeling career. She said yes immediately. When I arrived, she was already there, sitting at the bar in a sparkling silver dress. Hair curled, lipstick perfect. She looked like she was ready to step into the life she thought she'd stolen. Over appetizers, she leaned across the table. I'm so proud of you. You handled this like a real man. And now maybe we can finally stop pretending we don't feel this connection. I smiled. Calm. Tessa, there's something I need to tell you. What is it? She said, eyes bright with anticipation. You destroyed my marriage. And you thought that would make me want you. Her face drained of color. Wait, what? No. You encouraged my wife to cheat. Then ran to me with the truth like some hero. You created the problem and offered yourself as the solution. Ethan, that's sabotage. With a marketing campaign. I stood up, dropped $2.20s on the table, and leaned close enough for her to hear my last words. You're toxic, Tessa. And the saddest part is you actually believed I'd want someone like you. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I walked out into the cool night air, my heart pounding, not with regret, but with freedom. As I walked out of Meridian that night, I wasn't headed home. I was headed to my truck, parked where I had a clear view of the restaurant's glass walls. Because I hadn't just invited Tessa to dinner. I'd also texted Maya an hour before. Tessa said she needs to confess something about Brandon. Said it's important. You should hear it in person. If curiosity didn't get her, paranoia would. 10 minutes into dinner, I saw her SUV pull up. Right on schedule. Through the window, I watched Maya step inside. Tight jeans, leather jacket, hair pulled back in that messy bun she always used when she was mad. Her eyes scanned the room like a hawk hunting prey. Then she saw Tessa at our table and saw me walking toward the exit. What the hell is she doing here? Tessa's voice carried even through the glass. Ladies, I said smoothly, standing, you two have a lot to discuss. I'll let you catch up. I didn't wait for a response. I pushed through the door into the cool night air and leaned casually against my truck. From here, I had the best seat in the house. Maya stormed up to the table. You set me up with Brandon, she yelled, pointing a finger at Tessa. Tessa's eyes went wide. It wasn't like that. I was trying to help you. Help me? You destroyed my marriage so you could steal my husband. A couple at the next table froze, forks halfway to their mouths. I grabbed my phone and dialed Ryan. Bro, you need to get down to Meridian. Live entertainment. On my way, he said immediately. Inside, the show escalated. Tessa stood now, gesturing wildly, her silver dress shimmering under the restaurant lights. Maya leaned across the table, voice rising with each accusation. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. Tessa threw her water glass. It smashed against the wall behind Maya, sending shards everywhere. Gasps from nearby tables. A waiter ducked. Maya didn't hesitate. She grabbed Tessa's designer purse and dumped it across the table, sending lipstick and credit cards flying. Through the glass, I could see Tessa's face go red as she lunged across the table, hands in Maya's hair. That's when Ryan pulled up, stepping out of his truck with a grin so wide it belonged in a movie. Holy crap, he said, eyes on the chaos inside. This is better than UFC fight night. Give it a minute, I said, crossing my arms. Sure enough, the manager rushed in, trying to separate them. Plates hit the floor. A breadbasket flew. Other diners were backing away while a few brave souls started filming on their phones. You calling the cops? Ryan asked. Already did, I said, smirking. 5 minutes later, 2 Dallas PD officers walked in. The scene looked like a reality show finale gone wrong. 2 women on the floor, hair tangled, makeup smeared, designer clothes ruined, a table half destroyed. They pulled the women apart, voices raised. "Ladies, that's enough." Outside, Ryan and I watched them get cuffed and escorted out. Maya's eyes locked on me as they pushed her into the patrol car. She mouthed, "This is your fault." I just smiled. The next morning, my phone rang. County jail. "Ethan, you need to bail me out." Maya screeched the second I answered. "Ex-wife," I corrected calmly. "And no, I don't. I don't have anyone else to call." "Brandon's not answering. My parents are furious." "Sounds like a personal problem," I said. "Actions have consequences, Maya." She hung up after 3 minutes of sputtering. Ryan was on speaker the whole time, crying with laughter. "She really thought you'd bail her out after she cheated, trashed a restaurant, and got arrested? Bro, she's living on another planet." Both women spent the night in county holding, disturbing the peace. Simple assault. $800 in damages to the restaurant. And the cherry on top? Someone had filmed the entire fight and uploaded it to TikTok. Divorce drama turns into Dallas restaurant brawl. 80,000 views in the first week. The top comment: "When keeping it real goes wrong." Over 500 likes. Within days, I heard through mutual friends that Brandon ghosted Maya once he saw the viral video. Tessa started posting cryptic Instagram stories about fake friends and ungrateful men. Maya moved back in with her parents in Plano, nursing a bruised ego and a criminal charge. My house? Peaceful. My life? Better than ever. Ryan came over with a 6-pack that weekend. To poetic justice, he said, raising a bottle. To trash taking itself out, I replied. We clinked, laughing as the notification popped up on my phone. Another 10,000 views on the restaurant bite video. The morning after the restaurant brawl felt quiet. The sun was streaming through my kitchen window. Birds were chirping outside the oak tree in the yard. And for the first time in months, I felt peace. No dramatic texts. No lectures about my boring life. No scented candles I wasn't allowed to light. Just me, my coffee, and a house that finally felt like mine again. My phone buzzed. County jail. Inmate call. I sipped my coffee before answering. Ethan, this is all your fault. Maya's voice was hoarse, like she'd been screaming all night. How exactly is your bar fight with your best friend my fault? I asked, completely calm. You set us up. You wanted this to happen. I told you the truth about what you did to our marriage. What you two chose to do after that. That's all on you. You need to bail me out. I'm your wife. Ex-wife, I corrected. As of yesterday. There was silence on the line. I could practically hear the click in her brain as the reality sank in. I don't have anyone else to call, she said finally, voice breaking. Brandon won't answer. My parents are furious. Sounds like a personal problem, Maya. Good luck. And with that, I hung up. Later that day, Ryan came over with breakfast tacos and the biggest grin I'd ever seen. So, how does it feel to be officially free? He asked, dropping the tacos on my kitchen island. Like I just took a deep breath for the first time in years, I said. And the viral video? He waggled his phone. Bro, it's at 120,000 views. Comment section is savage. I laughed. A genuine, belly-deep laugh I hadn't felt in ages. Let them have their internet fame, I said. They earned it. Over the next few weeks, the aftermath unfolded exactly how I expected. Maya moved back in with her parents in Plano. Word was, she'd tried to rekindle things with Brandon, but he ghosted her hard after the viral video. She even showed up at his office in Austin a few times until building security had to get involved. Tessa went full meltdown mode online. First came the apology texts. I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Then the anger texts. You manipulated me. You ruined my friendship. Then the uninvited doorstep visit. She actually showed up at my house one Saturday morning, pounding on the door, demanding I stop punishing her for being a good friend. I didn't answer. The Ring doorbell caught the whole thing, and Ryan, and I watched it later like it was a comedy short, blocked her number the same day. And me? I started rebuilding my life. I cleared out the house of anything that reminded me of the chaos. All the useless throw pillows, the fake plants, the inspirational signs that said live, laugh, love. I replaced them with things that actually made me happy. A 65-inch TV in the living room, a massive sectional couch I could sprawl out on, a proper home office in the spare bedroom. I even started hosting Sunday barbecues again with Ryan and a few neighbors. The first weekend, I lit the grill and heard that sizzle of steak and the crack of a cold beer. I felt something I hadn't in a long time. Freedom. A few months later, I heard through the grapevine that Maya finally took a plea deal for disturbing the peace and had to pay restitution to Meridian for the damages. Her parents sold the viral story to a local gossip page to try and spin it in her favor, but it only made things worse. The internet never forgets, and now she's the girl who threw a water glass in a Dallas restaurant over a guy who didn't want her. Tessa faded into the background after a few more desperate social media posts. Last I heard, she moved to Houston, probably hunting for another project. And me? I sit on my deck in the evenings now, a cold beer in hand, watching the sun dip behind that old oak tree. No drama, no chaos, just quiet. I learned something in all of this. Sometimes, the trash really does take itself out. And when it does, you don't chase it. You just close the door and enjoy the peace you built for yourself.